Iran responds to Trump. The US is the one that never keeps its promises. Uber presents electric aerial taxi prototype for 2028. NAFTA trio foresee closing negotiations in 20 days. And Mexican scientists generate synthetic hurricanes in Yucatan. Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm Elliot Bullman. Let's go to the information. Iranian President Hasan Rohaní announced on Tuesday that Iran will continue in the 2015 nuclear agreement following the withdrawal of the United States if its interests are guaranteed, and that it will take decisions later if it does not. We must be patient to see how the other countries react, Rohaní said in a speech alluded to the rest of the signatories of the pact: Russia, China, the United Kingdom, France and Germany. The Iranian president considered that the decision of President Donald Trump is unacceptable and of psychological and economic war when Iran has not done anything wrong and has fulfilled all its responsibilities. Iran complies with its agreements, and the US is a country that never keeps its promises. They've done nothing but put empty signatures on paper, he criticized. After the announcement, he asked his foreign minister, Mohammad Javad Zarif, to negotiate with the European countries, Russia and China, in the coming weeks. If at the end of this period we reach the decision that the other countries can give us what Iran wants, we'll continue with the agreement and will do everything possible for peace in the region, he stressed. Otherwise, if Iran fails to achieve its objectives or the benefits of the pact, Rohaní warned that they'll take a very obvious path. The pact limits Iran's atomic program in exchange for the lifting of economic sanctions, but doesn't include any restrictions on Tehran's missiles or regional influence, as Trump demanded. Uber unveiled on Tuesday a prototype electric air taxi that will begin its tests in 2020 in the United States and Dubai, with the aim of starting its commercial service by 2028. Uber said in a document on its website that vertical takeoff and landing gear, VTOL, will generate great changes to our cities and lives, faster daily trips, less traffic congestion, and cleaner air worldwide. The trip by car between the San Francisco Marina and downtown San Jose in the United States is currently 2 hours. But with electric taxi service, the trip would be shortened to 15 minutes with an initial cost of $129 per trip. At present, this journey with UberX costs $111 and with Uberpool $83. However, in its document, the price of the air taxi in the long term would be reduced to just $20 for the trip between San Francisco and San Jose. Uber applied the same calculations to a route between the center of Sao Paulo and the suburbs in Campinas in Brazil. In this case, the trip would be reduced from 2 hours and 10 minutes by car to just 18 minutes with the air taxi, which would cost initially $153. For this, Uber would deploy a network of small and electric devices, VTOL piloted together with vertiports, nuclei with multiple platforms for the takeoff and landing of air taxis. The company said that it will cost between $10 and $20 million to build a demonstration unit, and that it will require between $150 and $300 million to cover the costs of certification and the purchase of equipment for the initial production. At the same time that Uber revealed its prototype air taxi, the company also announced that it's reached a research agreement with the United States Army for the development and testing of air taxis. In other news, the Mexican Economic Secretariat has issued a statement assuring that it's possible to conclude NAFTA negotiations within 20 days. Mexico's economy secretaries Luis Videgaray and Ildefonso Guajardo are in Washington this week in order to unblock the negotiations of the NAFTA agreement. On a working tour of Washington, Guajardo confirmed to US media that they presented a counter-proposal on the rule of origin in the automotive sector in response to the proposals of the United States, which seeks that the regional content is at least 75% for vehicles assembled in the North American region. The US proposal also suggests that 40% of light cars and 45% of pickup trucks are built in areas with salaries equivalent to $16 an hour or more. According to the Canadian agency CBC, Guajardo shared with Lighthizer conceptual data for a different way of calculating the rules of origin, that is, general notions rather than specific percentages. The president of Copamex, Gustavo de Hoyos Walter, stated that the new ministerial meeting in Washington is becoming complex due to the pressing electoral timings both in Mexico and in the United States. According to the employer, there's also exogenous factors to the discussion tables for rhetoric that may deteriorate the meeting environment. However, he hopes that it would be a period of no more than 20 days until a greater degree of progress on the most important issues of the NAFTA, such as the rule of origin, the termination clause, and the solution of commercial disputes is reached. In other headlines, at the UNAM CISAL academic unit in Yucatan, scientists have managed to generate what they call synthetic hurricanes. UNAM indicated through a press release that in the Laboratory of Engineering and Coastal Processes of the Institute, Christian Mario Appendini Albrechtsen heads a current investigation that reproduces some elements of the hurricanes to create and intensify them while the data is recorded. The scientists explained that they work with a numerical model where information is introduced, such as wind speed and intensity, in order to obtain the tidal conditions that the hurricane path would be generating, and what size waves the structures will have to endure. With state-of-the-art technology, the team of scientists will create hurricanes that allow them to study the climate situation considering a large number of different factors, with the goal of constructing better and stronger oil platforms. Appendini explained that the platforms are designed to endure waves of 25 feet, and with this projection of climate change, the structures will resist the impact of up to 35 feet. It's expected that the 2018 hurricane season in the Atlantic area will be quite active, but not as much as in 2017. The report includes 14 tropical storms this year, of which 7 have potential to become hurricanes. 3 of them may evolve into Category 3 or stronger. Last year, there was a prediction of activity below average, 11 storms, 4 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes. But at the end of the day, it was far from reality. The Atlantic generated a record of 10 hurricanes in a row, for a total of 17 storms and 6 hurricanes of great intensity. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.